Good morning, good morning, good morning, Blackburn Fam. Welcome back to Simple Godly Living Homestead, Embracing Grace Farm. Thank y'all so much for joining me in my kitchen. This is take 2. I recorded the video showing all of my ingredients and how we were doing everything. And then for some reason, it did not record all of it. It was just the first half. And I didn't want to save it because I felt like it would just confuse people. So, take 2. In here is 1 cup of my homemade from scratch pancake mix. I added in a tablespoon of lemon juice, a tablespoon of oil, 1 egg, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar, and it has 1 cup of milk in it. We're going to mix that up, and then we are going to add our vanilla and our chocolate chips. And here I have 1.5 cups of my old-fashioned rolled oats, 1 3/4 cup of milk, a dash of salt. There's a dash of salt in my pancake mix as well. And then I added, we're going to add in pure maple syrup, brown sugar, and a tablespoon of regular sugar. So we're going to get that going. Also, with my homemade oatmeal, I make homemade maple and brown sugar oatmeal. I have it on between low and medium, as you can see. So I'm going to get this all mixed up, and then we are going to grease our griddle, I said girdle, and get it in here. It is still very early. I also want to note that I apologize ahead of time for my voice. My allergies are so bad. My face is kind of swelled. My eyes are so itchy. And on top of my allergies being so bad, I'm also losing my voice. So I normally do not sound like this. And then I'm just going to heat up one of my bagels, half a bagel for me. So this is my homemade cinnamon and raisin bagel. If y'all are interested in any of my recipes, let me know in the comment section. I do have a blog, and I don't believe I have shared that with the channel, which is so crazy and ironic now that I think about it. But there is all kinds of stuff over on the blog about homemaking, parenthood, being a mother, a wife, homemaking, homesteading, gardening, just everything. And also from cooking from scratch. So I'm also going to be adding in all of my recipes. If y'all happen to be interested, though, like I said, let me know in the comment section, and then I can give them to you through the comment section, or if you email me at simplegodlylivinghomestead@outlook.com, I can give them to you that way, or I can give you the blog web address if y'all are interested in that, and you can get the recipes from there, and also just take a look at anything else you may like. Okay, now let's get back to cooking, y'all. And again, thank you so much for joining me back in the kitchen. I love having y'all with me. So we're going to put some brown sugar. I normally don't measure things. I've been doing this for so long. My abuela taught me how to cook and bake when I was a toddler. And I've learned from her and my padre my entire life. So I just eyeball things. But when it comes to recipes, I will try to give exact measurements. Now, this is not anything Swiffy. I believe this came from one of my coffee things or formula. But I don't know why I would have one for formula, because I only did formula with my oldest when I had to stop breastfeeding because she was so premature. And my youngest, I just breastfed through. So anyway, I believe it's from coffee. And as you can see, just a couple scoops of those of brown sugar. Because again, I am making homemade maple and brown sugar oatmeal. Alright, so we're going to put the lid on my brown sugar. And then we need to get some vanilla. It does not matter what vanilla y'all use. Totally up to you and your preference. However, I love using the Madagascar vanilla. So this is from Back Bay Trading Company. That is my favorite. I also like homemade vanilla, or I will use McCormick. Okay, so we are going to add just a little bit. Same thing, just a little splash of vanilla in there. A little bit more. Bloop. Okay. I also take a tiny bit of honey. Now, I have pure homemade honey, but it's not within my reach. So, I just do the tiniest little dash. Nobody ever knows. But it gives it very, very nice flavoring. And the consistency is just perfecto. Also, my secret little recipe is nutmeg. You want to put a dash of nutmeg in your oatmeal and a dash of nutmeg in your pancake mix. So dash, dash. Now, this is optional as well, but I am a big health nut. Obviously, I cook homemade from scratch because I love cooking. Cooking and baking is everything. I get pure joy from it. And my abuela taught me when I was a very little girl that, you know, when you're cooking for your family, whether that's your husband and children or extended family, or even just guests like friends, pour your love into it. She would literally, and I watched her physically pour her love into everything that she cooked and baked. And I watched her pray over her food. And that's what I do. So I take such joy, pride, and everything in knowing that I am cooking and baking homemade from scratch, that I pour my love into everything that I make, and that I also pray over my food. And then at the end of the day, whenever my family or guests sit down and they eat my food, what I have cooked and prepared for them, I become such a joyful servant because they get to enjoy it. And I don't care what anybody says. I will fight this until the day I die. You can taste the difference. Everybody loved my abuela's food. And yes, she was a phenomenal cook and baker. However, that extra oomph, that secret ingredient was always her love and prayers. Now, I add turmeric into everything that I cook and bake. You cannot taste it, you cannot see it, but I put it in everything. The medicinal properties of turmeric is so crazy. It truly is that it baffles me. And I believe it is something that everybody should use. Sorry, y'all. I'm doing this one-handed because I don't have my stand and I don't feel like grabbing it. Okay. So now, this is just regular sugar. And let me get a measuring spoon. It's been one of those mornings, y'all. One of those mornings. Okay. Stir that in. Nice and good. Okay. Now, pure maple syrup. You can use whatever pure maple syrup you like. I have tried a lot of different ones, and I've enjoyed them. They have tasted really good. However, I love Anderson's pure maple syrup. And I buy tons of these at the store. Like, I get stocked with them. And it is all natural. Pure 100% maple syrup. Nothing added. Like, nothing at all. And I love that. In today's day and age, where our food is poisonous and not even real food, all natural and pure is the way to go. Okay, y'all, next, we're going to do just a little dash of cinnamon. Not too much. If you put too much cinnamon in it, because cinnamon is so strong of a taste, that's all you will taste. You will not get to taste the brown sugar nor the maple. So, as you can see, I just had a half a teaspoon, and I barely used any. Tiny bit in there, and I do a pinch in here. Now, the past couple days, if y'all have been following along, I have been making chocolate chip banana pancakes. My children love them. However, I need to get more bananas, so today we are just going to do chocolate chips. And I stay stocked with baking chips. I am constantly baking, and you need a lot of them. So we're just going to stir that all in. Stir this in. And then we're going to add our chocolate chips. And then we're going to get to cooking that. Now this is cooking. The oatmeal is. This obviously is not. But I love this dish. This dish has been in my family since before I was even born. And I'm 35. So this was my abuela's. And when my family came to America, they brought this with them, and it's a whole set. These are so thick and sturdy, and I love using them. Every time I use these bowls, it's like my abuela's in the kitchen with me, and that means everything to me. It makes me very emotional. And yes, I'm using a spatula to stir this. Normally, I use my bread bosses, which I love this. And I use it normally to stir everything. But I already had the spatula, and I'm like, yeah, less dishes for me. Because it may be Tuesday, but yesterday went great for me. Today, not so much. But when life gives you lemons, we make lemonade. We turn that frown upside down, and we turn it into a positive. Okay, so now to finish it. I don't have many chocolate chips left in here, so we're just going to go ahead and finish it. You can put in as much or as little as you like. Again, this is all to your preference. But I will recommend, when doing it, don't be stingy with it, y'all. Like that right there, that's not a lot. That ain't going to do for my family. Alright, I'm going to put my jar into my sink. It's so funny because I love to get all my dishes done before I go to bed. There's nothing better to me, personally, than waking up